benefits of flying in a controlled airspace give GA pilots access to metro areas. You can be wanting to fly into Sydney and you have Bankstown to fly into. Perth has got Jandakot. Adelaide's got Parafield. Radar coverage when you're in Class C airspace is going to allow traffic separation with IFR and VFR flights. It can also mean that you are given a more direct route through airspace, which is saving time, saving fuel. You may also be allowed through a controlled airspace to keep your altitude a bit higher by requesting clearance through controlled airspace rather than trying to duck underneath control steps into hotter, more turbulent parts of the region than you need to be. There's tons of benefits, and at the end of the day you have air traffic control looking after you, advising you of traffic, or in some instances separating you from traffic. That's a big relief to your workload if you have air traffic control looking after you. The main tips I would give any pilot is to leave as little work as you possibly can to do in the aeroplane once you get there. Preparation before you leave home is the absolute key. The first point of call you should refer to is your URSA. Everything that you need is pretty much in there. The flight procedures and all the frequencies are there, all their local procedures are there. And if you read that very carefully, you'll find that very, very little is missing that you can't pick up elsewhere. Now, elsewhere would be you would go to your VTC and transpose the information that you gleaned from the URSA onto your actual map. And I highly recommend ringing the tower before you get there, saying, hey, I'm coming in tomorrow, I'm unfamiliar, what could a potential instruction from you be? And they are more than happy in a tower to help you out. Another thing I really love to talk about, and I do it till I'm blue in the face, no matter if you're in uncontrolled airspace or controlled airspace, is to have your airport layout diagram on your lap, way out, like 20 miles out, so that you get an idea of what you expect once you get closer to your aerodrome. You won't be given a choice of how you enter the circuit, you'll be directed how to enter the circuit, but you will have received your ATIS a long way out, as far out as you can. Visualise it in your head first, and you will already have your wind information. Draw a big fat wind line on your airport diagram. Draw a big fat line which is your inbound track, and figure out how they possibly are going to usher you in. It just helps with your situational awareness, and that's easily accessible from the NAIPS website. Be sure that you have got the latest weather. Be sure that you have got the correct frequencies and write them down in front of you on your flight plan, and have in your head a really solid understanding of what the procedures for that aerodrome are. Just be as thoroughly planned as you possibly can, because we don't like surprises when we go flying. There's enough surprises out there. I really like to have the paper map in front of me in controlled airspace in case ATC does have a requirement to direct me via a waypoint that is not the one I've planned for. And I will put big circles around all the possible waypoints or approach points that ATC might use. That's just me. I'm a paper girl. I love GPS and I love EFB, but sole reliance on EFB means that you are reliant on a screen that isn't going to black out, that isn't going to heat up, it isn't going to disappear from your view, so have a backup. It goes without saying that using current maps is absolutely vital. Now, if you are airborne in controlled airspace and you are fearful that you didn't understand a direction from ATC, do absolutely call ATC and say, I didn't understand. Could you say that again? Speak in plain English. They are there to look after you and help you where they can. So don't be afraid in controlled airspace of any question that you need answered. There are plenty of resources available for advice on flying in controlled airspace. The VFRG and the AIPs, first off, CASA's Pilot Safety Hub, and don't forget in particular to check your NOTAMs before you go flying.